This video shows how to make homemade chocolate gravy. And as always, you can find out more at homeawayfromhomefarms.com. This is one of my family's very favorite ways to start the day. The kids always get very excited when I let them know that I'm making biscuits and chocolate gravy. So if you've not had chocolate gravy, you're in for a real treat, and so is your family. What we have here is 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder, a teaspoon or so of salt, a 1/4 cup of flour, 2 cups of milk, a couple teaspoons of vanilla extract, and since my cow is dried up right now, I'm having to use store-bought butter, but you're using 1/2 cup of butter. The first thing you're going to want to do is whisk all of your dry ingredients together in a pan, and I'll show you that right now. So I'm going to add the sugar and the cocoa powder and the flour and the salt. I'm going to whisk all that until it's pretty well incorporated. Now I'm going to go ahead and move it to the stove top. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat on. You're going to want it to be on low to medium-low heat. And I'm going to add my milk. Now I have whisked my milk into my dry ingredients until you have little to no chunks of cocoa powder or anything like that showing. The most important part of chocolate gravy at this point is once you've got the heat going, to stir it constantly. It will solidify quicker at the bottom than it will at the top of your gravy. And so if you're not stirring it constantly, before you know it, you're going to have a large mass of flour and cocoa powder at the bottom, and it'll either scorch it or it just won't come together really well. So you want to keep it stirred. And once it begins to get really warm and hot, that's when I'm going to add my vanilla and my butter. But until then, I'm just going to keep whisking it. All right, I've been stirring it pretty consistently for a few minutes, and it's beginning to thicken, which is what you're looking for. When you notice that it's getting pretty thick, you can see little trace marks, not real heavy trace marks, but when you can start seeing that, that's when you're going to want to add your butter and your vanilla, when it begins to thicken like this. And now is when it's just really, really important to continue stirring. You do not want it to clump up on you at the bottom or scorch. And at this point, you're just going to continue stirring. Once the butter and the vanilla are fully incorporated, you're just going to continue stirring until it gets to the consistency that you want it to be. Not real thick, but not real runny either. Unless you like it that way. You can make it however you want. That's the beauty of homemade food. If you like runny gravy, make it runny. If you like it thick, make it thick. We like it somewhere in the middle. I'm just kind of looking to see how thick it is. I'm kind of scooping some with my whisk and watching it. And it's about where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat off. And continue stirring it for another minute or so. My biscuits are just about finished. I'm about to pull them out of the oven, and you want to talk about a good breakfast. This is good. All right, I have pulled my biscuits out of the oven and buttered the tops of them. My chocolate gravy, the only other thing I need to mention about it is that even as it cools, it's important that you whisk it occasionally so that you don't get a film on top. The other thing is that it will thicken as it cools, and if it gets thicker than what you really want it, that's no problem at all. Just add a little bit of milk, whisk it into it, and it'll be just fine. It'll be great. So there it is, chocolate gravy and biscuits. And you just check this out. This is going to make you hungry. I mean, yes. Chocolate gravy and biscuits. Is it good? Yeah.